Hey guys, this is the Diaries 34, and someone asked me, how do I manage studying and also keeping a prayer life that's consistent? And this person felt a bit swamped by studies, and sometimes we can get like that in our life, whether it's studies or work or other things going on. It can all seem so demanding, and it can be hard fitting in prayer, and we find that our previous ways or our normal ways of praying can't happen because we just don't have the same time that we had before. And what I want to say is that's okay, and be ready to adapt, because God calls us to different seasons in our lives. And while maybe there was a time that you could go to daily mass, well, this new schedule may not allow that, and you can offer that up if you really miss the mass, and that is a form of prayer in itself, offering that up and making this sacrifice. And for those people studying, and this person's studying theology, so why are you here in the first place? Is it selfish that you're studying this? And I'd probably say no, it probably wasn't for this person. That they probably were genuinely discerning where is God calling them, and I believe they found this subject or this course because that's where they felt God was calling them. And it's not out of that selfishness, but truly they just deep down want to honor God and where He's leading them, and they want to do God's will. So being obedient in studies for that person is a way that they can honor God, that they can show that respect and love for God, because they're going where God has called them, not out of selfishness, and they're doing this study for Him because they see ultimately it will lead them somewhere else as well. Even if they don't know where it will lead them, or if it will lead them anywhere, they just trust that God has called them to it, so they're going to try their best to do it with His help. So trying to focus in studies and trying to do that well is how we can honor God and how we can pray. So as another example, like say a mother is helping to raise her kids. She probably isn't able to spend hours in adoration in the in front of the Blessed Sacrament, or go to daily mass. She might find that time, but probably not, because she has to maybe look after the kids, pick them up from school, do work, clean the house, do all these duties. But is she doing those selfishly to turn away from God? No, she is looking after her family, and those things that she had to give up, say mass and adoration, they're still there if she can find pockets of time when she can, within reason. But she can incorporate prayer through those activities. So when she's doing the dishes, that's a prayer, because that is her loving her family. That's why she's doing that. And when we love, that is a form of prayer, because we know that God is love. So we know that God is love. So when we do an act out of love for someone else, that is a prayer. And that's a way we are encountering God. So when we study, that can be a prayer as well, as that is us being obedient to God and showing our love for Him. All right, so this person may find it difficult to study and hard to be obedient in studies. And I'd say to that person that God sees your efforts, and He sees that you're trying, and He sees that you're trying to follow Him, and He sees how difficult it is for you. And just sit with that God sees you. He's not standing above you, like on a cloud somewhere, just judging you for not being good enough. He's not on some cloud high up in the sky, looking down upon you and pointing a finger saying you're not good enough and do better, study harder, focus more. No, like God knows the limitations you have and that you might find it hard to focus and that you get easily distracted. And he sees that you signed up to this course even though you may find it difficult to study. And he looks at you with love and compassion and mercy. That no matter what, you went where God was calling you, and he sees the sacrifice that you made, and he looks at you with love. Do you see yourself with that love as well? Or are you holding yourself as a prisoner to yourself with like condemnation? Are you condemning yourself? Because maybe you are the harshest critic to yourself. And maybe you need to learn how to be more compassionate to yourself and ask God to reveal to you the way he sees you. And ask him to help you understand what it means to be his child and to be loved by him, regardless of what we do. Or if we stuff up and all that, ask for his help to see yourself the way he sees you. And I think that will uplift you in what you do. So just keep trying with your studies and persevere. Like St. Paul says in scripture, I think it's St. Paul, we're running to win the race. That is going to be hard, and studying can be really hard, and it can seem pointless. We don't know which direction we're going, but it is to fight the good fight and to run the race and to go where God calls you. And when difficulties come up, it's to ask God to help in those and to work with him in those. And sometimes we need to give ourselves little rests, and you may not have all the time in the world anymore, but it's those little pockets in between things. So maybe you do your homework for this class here, and then there's another task you have to do here, but there's a little space in between. What can you do just to quickly reset and remind yourself of God then? And that it's not a mass. It's not going to Eucharistic adoration. It's not a rosary. But don't underestimate the power of a small prayer and just giving that the most precious time, this little precious time to God. Maybe that's worth even more because it's a greater sacrifice. So giving that time to God there, maybe 3 minutes. And sometimes I do this thing, if I'm so exhausted and I have many things to do, I take a 3-minute nap. And I'd say never underestimate the power of a 3-minute nap, especially as you invite God in prayer in that, saying like, God, I rest with you, please refill me, give me the strength that I need. Yeah, something like that. Something as easy as that we can do. And just overall, that God sees us, he has mercy on us, and he loves us. And at the end of the day, it's not about what we do, but it's about his love for us. And just remembering God throughout today. So for that person, you're doing a good job. Keep going and keep reaching out to God in prayer and being ready to adapt and to let go maybe of past practices and not being guilty about that, but being open to where God is calling you now, something new, and just because you don't have that time to maybe meditate for a long time, don't underestimate the power that God is able to do in a tiny amount of time. Like in those 3-minute naps I've had, he's had like profound insights he's given me, which has been super unexpected. But God knew what I needed in that time, and that was all that I could give him for then. So God can use the little that you give him now, and don't see it as little, but it's actually quite massive considering how much demand is being placed upon you right now. So keep going, and may God bless you. All right, bye.